Hi everyone, my name is Priyanka and welcome to my vlog. Today I'm going to talk about 7 ways in which you can communicate effectively. Now, most people have this problem that they are unable to have a decent conversation with people around them, even conversation with regards to small little tiny things. I'm not talking about great conversations about book topics or what's happening in the world. Simple conversations that you can have with your colleagues or with your boss or with your loved ones or somebody you really look up to. But this is where the problem is going to come in, because you feel shy, you're unable to open up, you are unable to form two sentences together without fumbling, and then you lose your train of thought. So this is where I'm going to teach you 7 ways in which you can communicate effectively. So let's get on with it. So the first one being that you have to look out for the person's body language. Now, most people don't realize is that there are cues in a person's body language. So, let's say if person is standing like this, or if the person is looking away, not looking directly at you, then you understand that this person is closed up and is not interested in talking to you. And then there are ways in which you can understand that the person is interested in you because the person is looking directly at you, and he or she is standing with their arms open, and they are really intently nodding their head. So this is where you get the cue that they are interested in what you're talking about. So observe how the other person is standing and having a conversation with you. Your boss is not interested in having a conversation with you, or your colleagues are not interested in having a conversation with you. So then how do you go about it? Okay, you've observed their body language, you've noticed that they are closed off. So how do you begin? So that is where we come on to the second point. Now, coming on to the second point, it's very essential that you start a conversation with a question. This way, it shows that you're interested in learning from them. So what people need to know is that you're actually interested in having a conversation with them. So start a conversation with a question. So it can be very simple question. How's your day going? Now, let's say if someone is really chased off and you're going and asking them, how's your day going? They will not interact nicely with you. So always remember who this person is, where this conversation is taking place, what is the context of that conversation. If you simply go and ask a silly question as to how your day is going, very well knowing that this person is having an atrocious day, then don't go and ask such silly questions. Be aware of the question that you are going to ask this person. So you can ask this person, oh, what happened, are you all right? Simply base your question looking at this person. If you know this person very well, or if you are trying to have a conversation with a stranger, then be very gentle in your questions. Sometimes these PV questions can put off people, like how's your day going, or hi buddy, how are you? Now these are the questions that might offend somebody because they're not trying to have a conversation with you. So it's always a great idea to understand who this person is if you want to have a conversation with a stranger, because that stranger has some sort of knowledge that they can share with you. Then simply go and ask them, I need some help from you. Can you help me? Because I'm really interested in knowing how you did this, how you went about achieving this success in your life. Now this is where you are going to put them on a pedestal, and sometimes people might not respond to you. Now that is not up to you. That can be because this person is running out of time, or they're busy. So don't get offended, keep on trying, but build that momentum, and that momentum can only be built when you are trying to show some sort of interest in the person that you are trying to have a conversation with. So coming on to the third point, now you've asked a question, you are showing some interest in this person, but the next moment you start scrolling your phone or you start looking away. So it is entirely your fault that this conversation is going to fall through. So at that time, you have to make sure that you are simply looking at this person and nodding your head, or trying to give them cues through your body language that you're absolutely interested in listening to them, because you are there to have a conversation with this person. Now, what happens most times is that people end up getting distracted. So imagine if someone is answering your question and suddenly you're looking somewhere else. You're looking at people passing by, are you looking at the birds, are you looking at your shoes, or you're tapping your feet, or you're tapping your hands like this. what does it show? It shows that you are absolutely not interested in this person at all, and you've been faking it all along, just trying to get a conversation out of them, but you're not there for the conversation. You have to make an effort. You have to make an effort to show through your body language that yes, you are interested in that conversation. Or if you're looking somewhere else, or you're simply too distracted, then that conversation is going to fall through. So always make sure that you're at least looking at this person in the eye, and don't stare at them. That's also going to make them feel a little offset. So no, don't do that. But rapidly move your eyes around, and look somewhere for a split second and then look back at them, because that way is at least you are giving them some space. I'm not talking about staring right back at them, because most people also do this. They learn somewhere that to get through a great conversation, they have to stare back, and then they stare back at people, and that is very funny. So don't end up doing that. That's just going to make you look very foolish. Coming on to the fourth point now, let's say you have been trying to uh, create great conversations with people, but those conversations are falling through because you have no idea what they're talking about. So if you're sitting in a group like that, and let's say you're talking to your boss or you're talking to your peers, and they have been conversing on certain topics, let's say world politics or what's happening in your sector, but you don't have any grasp of what's happening around the world because you've been too busy scrolling through useless reels, and spending too much time with people who don't pay attention to improving upon their skill sets. You will feel that burnt. You will feel how people will simply neglect you in that conversation. They will sideline you because they know that you have no knowledge of what they've been talking about. So if you're facing that problem, it is time for you to upskill yourself. It is time for you to have a basic idea, general knowledge about the things that are happening in the world now. It's great to wake up in the morning and spend at least 15-20 minutes glancing through the newspapers, get a basic idea of where the world is heading, because at least this way you will be able to have a conversation with people. And these are some very, very general topics that people talk about in offices, or even at home, where you have a large gathering, or at a party. People usually end up talking about world politics because that's something that everybody can chip in, and it's not a personal topic. You'll feel included in that conversation. Otherwise, what's going to happen is that people will understand that you have no interest in this life, you have no interest in what's going on in the world, and you're simply just standing there and nodding your head. Um, so your gimmick of trying to butt into a conversation is just going to fall through, and that's going to affect you on a professional level too. So at least spend 15 minutes upskilling yourself every day. And it's just not about getting an idea about what's happening in the world. You can gain a lot of knowledge by reading books and listening to podcasts. Just have a general awareness of the trending topics. And I'm not talking about trending reels or things that are absolutely of no importance in this world. That's just content. I'm talking about things that actually have an impact on your personal and professional life somewhere. So at least read up, because that way you will have something to talk about. So, coming on to the fifth point, it's all about respect and appreciation for somebody else's point of view. Now, most times people have this very bad habit of trying to prove their point. So you might be right, your point of view can be completely valid, but it is a conversation killer for sure, because you're too adamant trying to prove your point that you end up making the other person feel disrespected and not appreciated. Most people don't like to be showed down upon, especially in a public setting. Even in private, people don't like to be put down. And if, let's say, you are standing in a group and having a conversation and trying to prove your point, and then telling the other person, no, no, your point of view is absolutely ridiculous, what it's going to do is it's going to make not just this person but rest of the people in that group very aware of your behavior. And then they're going to try and avoid you, because they understand that you don't listen to others, you don't appreciate their point of view, you don't want to listen. Even if you are listening, you will still try and put across your point of view as something that is absolutely correct. Now, it's not just that you have an opinion and then that opinion matters. Everybody must have an opinion. Everybody must look at the world from their own perspective, and their perspective can be very, very different from yours. Now, this is where you simply let that conversation slide and take its own turn. Don't try and push across your point of view, trying to be the hero of this group, because you will end up looking like a loser, not a hero. So don't push across your point of view. Just stand there and, even if you don't agree, just tell them, yes, I am now going to agree to disagree, and we all can have our opinions. And this is what a healthy conversation looks like, not what you're trying to put across as, this is me and this is my idea of how things should be, and I'm correct and you're wrong, because that is not a conversation at all. The sixth point is all about trying to cut these conversation fillers. Now, most times what people do is they use a lot of these okay, these sounds. And these are conversation killers, because you're taking too long to formulate a sentence in your mind. Now, you don't have to open your mouth and formulate a sentence. Just take a moment to formulate a sentence and then speak up. What happens to most people is that they end up talking like this. I think, like this. So this is where people are going to get bored because they have been waiting for you to at least begin your sentence and finish it, and you've taken too long. So rather just stay quiet for a minute, take your time, let somebody else speak, let them speak, because people love speaking, people love talking, and if you give them a little bit of space to talk, they'll keep on talking endlessly. So take that time to formulate some very good points in your mind, and then have that go at this conversation, because what most people do is they just are in a rush to put across their point, and they don't know what their point is. So they think that, if I talk very fast, I'm going to get there. But after let's say a minute or two, they're out of steam and they are not able to formulate another sentence, and then they end up doing these like this. So what you can do is you can take a moment to simply just formulate that sentence in your mind first. Don't formulate it verbally first, because what is going to happen is you're going to end up making the other person feel very, very tired and very bored. Coming on to the seventh and the last point, be very, very brief and precise when you're talking. Don't ramble on, don't keep on going without really thinking what you're talking about. And this is a problem that a lot of people face. They've been given a topic, they know something about that topic, and then they don't let anybody else speak. They'll keep on talking for minutes and minutes, and then those minutes are going to become so long that people are simply going to look away. They'll find an excuse to walk away from that conversation, and this is where the conversations end up very drastically, because people don't have the time and the energy to listen to you rambling on. So you have a point, you put it across, and then sit quietly. Don't keep on talking for 4 5 minutes non-stop without letting the other person have a go at this conversation, because then what is happening is it's only you trying to have this conversation with yourself. You are not including the other person, and if that person is not feeling included, they will simply nod their head and walk away. You have to stop this bad habit of yours where you keep on talking and don't allow the person to butt into the conversation. You have to give people that space, and you have to appreciate them to have a great conversation. So it's always about two or more people having conversations, not about simply trying to build a momentum and then going with the momentum and forgetting that there are other people also who want to be a part of this conversation. So if you love my vlog, do like, share and subscribe and comment down below, and thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.